Hi everyone, welcome to my backyard. In case you've forgotten, my name is Caroline Keegan. I'm the aquatics manager here at the Chesapeake Beach Water Park. And I've been at the water park for 4 years now, but we've never had anything happen like this before, as I'm sure you know. So this year, things are going to be a little different. So we do have some changes to our operations that are important for you as a lifeguard to know. So that's what we're going to go through today. If you're a returning lifeguard, these changes will probably be the strangest to you, but if you're new, these are important things to know as well. So let's get started. Let's see, how do I advance? There we go. All right, so let's talk about, let me move my face out of the way here. Let's talk about masks. So you will be given a CBWP mask to take home and wash. If you really hate the CBWP mask, you can wear your own, but we would prefer you to wear the one that we give you so that everybody matches and looks really nice. Please do not wear your mask into the water at any times, and you shouldn't let guests wear their masks into the water either. The masks, when they get wet, get pretty difficult to breathe through, so we really don't want our guests in that kind of situation. So when to wear your masks, if you're on stand and you're less than 6 feet away from other people, so there are other people that are close to you, closer than 6 feet, you need to wear your mask. So there are a couple stands that are like this. We'll talk about that more in a second. But you'll wear your mask on stand and you'll take it off before you jump in the water to perform a rescue. I would recommend leaving it on your chair, if possible dropping it on the deck, because when you get back out of the water, you'll want to put it back on. If you are on stand and you are greater than 6 feet away from other people, so you have your own personal space, plenty of room, then no, you don't need to wear your mask on stand. Those stands that you do not need to wear a mask for will be marked by a little symbol, which I'll show you on the next slide. All right, when you are bumping, please, yes, wear your mask. If you're walking to get food, you have to wear your mask. If you're going to the bathroom, you have to wear your mask. If you're doing your opening and closing duties, you should be wearing a mask unless you are greater than 6 feet away from other people. So if you're cleaning the bathroom by yourself, you don't necessarily need a mask unless you want to wear it. Or if you're bucketing by yourself, you don't need to wear your mask. If you're in the break room, you should be wearing your mask if you're closer than 6 feet to other people. So during our breaks, it would be awesome if we could all stay 6 feet away from other people and not have to wear those masks. But if we're all in the break room to clock in the morning or something, please, please, please have your mask on. Okay, so this is the little symbol that we're going to print out and put on all of the stands that you have to wear your mask on. All right, let's talk about PPE, personal protective equipment. So in your hip pack, your lifeguard hip pack, you're going to carry an extra disposable mask in a Ziploc baggie. That way, if your first mask gets wet, you can pull out this extra disposable one if you need to. You'll also be carrying around hand wipes in your Ziploc bag to keep them dry. These will both be provided to you by the management. It'll be our first aid supplies, and they'll be there in your hip pack, nice and dry, for if you need them. With your gloves, always replace your gloves after using them, whether it's with a guest or during a scenario. If you're in a scenario and you hop back right on stand after the scenario is over, please just ask a supervisor to grab you a new pair if you can't leave your stand already. Okay, so we do have some new sanitizing duties. So at each stand, during each bump, the incoming lifeguard will sanitize the stand at the handrails, the chair, or any other surfaces that the previous lifeguard was touching. And that will all happen before the zone transfers. So the first lifeguard will be standing there scanning the water. Second lifeguard will come up. First lifeguard will get down from their stand, still scanning the water, where the second lifeguard can then spray everything down. After they spray everything down, they can get back up on stand. You guys are both scanning the water. You both give a thumbs up, and the first lifeguard can leave. So you're going to be able to use an available spray bottle, and we'll have some bleach solution there that you'll be using to sanitize that stand before you hop on it from the last person. If you're at the blue slide, you will disinfect the poles and the handrails after your bump. So in that case, that's the case where the leaving lifeguard does the spraying. Okay, with your rescue tubes, every single day, you will be responsible for keeping the same rescue tube throughout the day. So at the end of your shift, you're going to take your rescue tube, push the whole thing under the chlorinated water in the lazy river, in the lagoon, wherever. You'll pull it out, you'll wrap up the strap, and then you'll place it in the tube storage area to dry. So chlorinated water is supposed to kill the coronavirus, so we will let that happen and keep track of your tube throughout the day. You want to have the same tube all day. You don't want to be sharing tubes with other people. This is our new tube storage rack. I'm not sure why our worst tubes are on display here. Sorry about that. We do have nice tubes. But this is around behind where the lockers are, back by the back employee break room. So this is where you'll put your tube up every day. And you can see in this picture, the tubes are kind of on their narrow side, standing up. And please put your tube away that way. Otherwise, it'll bend in the middle. So go ahead and just put your tube back here when you're done with it for your shift. Okay, during your breaks. When you're in the break room, please stay 6 feet away from other employees. If you can't stay 6 feet away, you both have to be wearing masks. There will be Clorox wipes available if you want to wipe down your area before or after you leave. If you're looking for an isolated spot to eat your lunch, you can also eat at the break area around the back of the building. And also, we want to remind everybody to be aware of the signs of heat stroke and heat exhaustion, especially when we're wearing the masks outside all day. It'll be very hot. and you guys will figure that out quickly. But if you feel unwell, just let your supervisor know immediately. Here are some signs of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. This poster will be up in the break room for you to look at. But the big important thing is to make sure that you're keeping yourself safe. So stay hydrated during your breaks. Either get in the water or cool off in the break room. Wear your sunscreen so you don't get burnt. That's an important one. And watch out for these signs. Okay, so we have our morning meeting and our evening meeting every single day. For these group meetings during our morning meeting, we will actually have guests in the park. We're letting the guests into the park early this season to help them get set up in their own space and time. So for our morning meeting, which is at 10:45 every morning, we'll come out of the office and tell you guys 10:45, go meet up. And at our evening meeting too, we're going to try our best to spread out from one another. Please wear your masks to the meeting in case it's not possible to be 6 feet apart. Standing in a big group of people, it'd be much better if we all had our masks on. And whoever is leading the meeting will be speaking through a megaphone so that you can hear them no matter how far away you're standing. Okay, let's talk about the lifeguard rotation. The rotation has been changed so that there's only 15 lifeguards working each day. There's going to be 9 morning shifts, 9 afternoon shifts, and 6 all-day shifts. So this means your zone might be larger than you're used to if you're a returning lifeguard. Always remember you have 10 seconds to scan your entire zone and 20 seconds to get to a gid. As usual, each stand will be 30 minutes long with bumping starting at 25 and 55. After 4 bumps, you will have a break, so you get a break every 2 hours. And every single morning, that rotation will be posted in the break room so you can take a look and see where you're going next. Okay, here is a picture of our normal rotation. So this is when all 15 of us show up to work and can go on stand. We have 12 people on stand at a time and 3 people on break at a time. All of the stands are open, and you can tell by the numbers here where you will start. So the top of the rotation is at splash pool. So this section goes splash pool, cave, white slide, blue slide, and then you're on break for 30 minutes. After that, it is river 3, which is, I'm trying to see my little 5 here. Here we go, 5 is this orange one here. But river 3 is a little bit different this year. If you are used to river 3, it is going to go all the way around this corner. So you will be responsible from the opening of the lap pool all the way around the corner to about where the cool zone is, you'll be able to see. So you're going to be walking back and forth. After that, you're going to go to the frog slide stand. So that's the one that's between the pirate slide and the frog slide, and you've got to scan half the activity pool. After that, you go across the bridge over to Lagoon. And for Lagoon is special this year so that Lagoon and baby pool are combined. You stand on the left side of the Lagoon, and you're going to scan the entire baby pool and the entire Lagoon. And if anything happens in the baby pool, we have built a ramp so that you can hop over the fence really quickly and safely. But you will be responsible for both the baby pool and the Lagoon. After Lagoon, you go to River 4, which is all the way down here by Splash Pool. It's up on the rocks. You're going to stand there and scan. And when you're at River 4, you're responsible for this portion of the river, but you're also responsible for watching Splash Pool over your shoulder. So make sure that you're turning your head over your shoulder. After that, you would start out, after your break, you would start out at the lap pool. So the lap pool stand is as usual. And then you go to the bridge stand. So bridge is new. It's the other half of the activity pool. So you stand on the bridge, you walk back and forth the best that you can, and you are watching the whole other half of the activity pool. After you're at the bridge stand, you're going to go over to River 2, which is this roving stand right here. You're responsible from the bridge all the way to where River 3 picks up. And then you go to River 1 over on the right side of the map here, and then you're on your break again. So that was our normal rotation when all 15 of us show up. Our limited rotation, hopefully we will not have to do very much this summer, but that's only when we have 14 lifeguards, so one person calls out of work and we can't find a replacement. It's the same thing where it's 30 minutes per stand and you bump at 25 and 55, but there's only 11 lifeguards on stand at a time and 3 on break. So this one is a little different. The first part's the same pretty much. You start at Splash Pool, you'll go to Cave, you'll go to White Slide and Blue Slide and break. Then the second part of the rotation is Frog Slide, which is this half of the activity pool. You'll go over the bridge to Lagoon, so look at the baby pool and Lagoon. You'll go to the extended River 4. So if you see over here at the top of the map, this River 4 is on the rocks between the splash pool and this block right here. So you will be walking back and forth to scan the entire river up to about halfway down this stretch of the lazy river. After you're at River 4, you're on break. And after your break, you start up again at the lap pool. You go to the bridge. You go to extended River 2. So it's the same as River 2 was before, except you're going to walk further so that you overlap with Extended River 4. After you're done walking at Extended River 2, you're going to cross the bridge and go to River 1, and then your break. So these stands, both the 15 lifeguard and 14 lifeguard, they'll be posted on the walls of the break room if you ever need to study. And of course, the rotation, so the list will be on the break room every single morning with your names. Okay, so the lifeguard shifts. Our shifts are pretty much the same. We're doing swim lessons Monday, Tuesdays, and Fridays from 9:30 to 10:30. You might get scheduled for swim lessons this year. We do think that we'll be scheduling less lifeguards for swim lessons. We expect our swim lessons groups to be a lot smaller, and we might not need as many lifeguards to assist with them, so you probably won't be scheduled for a swim lessons shift. Our other 3 types of shifts are morning shifts, which are from 10 a.m. to 2:45 p.m. You're bumped off stand at 2:45 p.m. So as soon as you're bumped off stand, you can go ahead and clock out and leave. An all-day shift is from 10:30 to 7 p.m. And then the afternoon shift is from 2:30 to 8 p.m. And that shift starts at 2:30. You have to be here at 2:30, and then you bump the morning shifts at 2:45. So please arrive at 2:30 for that afternoon shift so that we can make sure you're here and that the morning shift has somebody to come replace them. We will also have our in-services. You have to attend 2 in-services a month, so that's 2 for July, 2 for August, and maybe 1 for September. I'm not sure yet, but more information about those will be coming out soon. This year we are going to be closed on Mondays except for swim lessons, and we'll be closed on Mondays for deep cleaning. So we're not super sure what the deep cleaning on Mondays is going to look like yet, or if we'll need lifeguards to be scheduled on those days, but we'll keep you updated with that and let you know. Okay, so this is some of the most important changes that we have going on, and those are the changes to our EAPs to keep us all safe. So let's talk about a rescue. So you're up on stand and you see a guest struggling in the water. So it would be an active GID rescue. You're going to go ahead and take off your mask, blow your whistle, activate your EAP, and enter the water. So as you enter the water, you should remove your mask, because if it gets wet, you won't be able to breathe through the fabric. When you come up to the guest, you should extend your tube all the way, like offer them the very other end of your tube. For them to grab. Hopefully, in most cases, this will be enough, considering our water isn't very deep, and most people, if they're starting to drown in our water, just need something to grab onto. So go ahead and extend your tube all the way. If they can't grab the tube, if they are totally frantic and won't... Okay, so we had some technical issues there, but I'm back. And as I was saying, just go ahead and try and use your rescue tube for the best of your ability to try and rescue somebody. But if they need that extra help, you can go in with front drive, rear hug, that kind of thing. Okay, so let's talk about supplemental oxygen support. So your supplemental oxygen support, remember, is given to somebody if their pulse ox is too low on the pulse oximeter that you put on their finger. And when we do supplemental oxygen support, we usually use a non-rebreathing mask, which is the same thing as what we're going to use here. So there's no special modifications for just a conscious person who needs oxygen. Okay, so the bag valve mask, the BVM, and using a resuscitation mask, so that's your Easy Seal. Both of these are used on an unconscious person, and both of these could have a situation where the guest's expired air is being vented, and that air could be dangerous to us. So because of this potential for the airborne transmission, your BVM and your Easy Seal cannot be used on a person until you attach a tiny little filter. It's called a HEPA filter onto either the Easy Seal or the BVM. So the supervisors and the head guards are going to carry around these little filters in our hip packs throughout the day. We do not have enough for every lifeguard to have one, and they have to stay dry, so the supervisors and head guards will carry them around. And in any situation where you would be using a BVM or your Easy Seal to do rescue breathing, a manager or head guard or supervisor will be there to help you, and they will be there with that filter. So you shouldn't be doing any rescue breathing without that little filter. So rescue breathing in the water right now, we're just not going to do. It's not safe right now, and those filters can't get wet, so we can't do any rescue breathing in the water. Alright, when you do CPR, CPR is another aerosol generating procedure. So those compressions force air out of somebody's lungs, and that air could be contaminated. So for this reason, don't do CPR unless your Easy Seal has a filter on it, or the BVM has a filter on it that stays pressed up against their face, so that you can protect yourself. So if you're not at the park and you don't have access to one of these filters, for example, you're at the mall and somebody needs CPR, just do hands-only CPR, okay? Don't try and do any rescue breathing, any breaths, without one of those special filters. Okay, if we're talking suctioning, so using that sucky VBAC, you must be wearing your PPE as always. And for suctioning, if the guest is wearing their own face mask, just remove that mask first before you do any suctioning on them. Okay, so in summary, so when you're responding to a non-aquatic incident, so that's something that started in the water and is now moved on deck, or something that just started on deck, you want to treat all incidents as if the patient is potentially infectious, and you should keep yourself safe. So you should always wear your required PPE, so that's gloves, your face mask, and in some cases protective eyewear. We're going to have protective eyewear in our trauma bag to bring to any scene where we would need to wear it. If you are involved in any situation, your eyeglasses or your contacts or your sunglasses do not count as protective eyewear, so you would need to put on a pair of goggles from the trauma bag. Remember that your scene evaluation can be done from 6 feet away, okay? So if you see something that might not be right, go ahead and start to survey the scene from 6 feet away. Use that time to put on your gloves, put on your mask, and then move closer. When you're dealing with somebody, ask them to put on a mask if they're conscious and you can talk to them, and have them put on a mask for their safety and yours. When something is going down, you want to limit the number of responders to any incident. So in most cases, that's 3 responders, so 1 person for chest compressions and 2 people for BVM and AED. As a reminder, talking more about that, limiting the number of people that come in contact. If something is happening on deck and you're walking past and there's the appropriate number of people there already dealing with the situation, you do not need to come in and help. Keep your distance. You can go ahead and help with crowd control at that point. Try and keep people away, but you don't want to be any closer to that person than you have to be, okay? As a reminder, if you're doing SOS, the supplemental oxygen, and they're conscious, just use a non-rebreathing mask. If you're by yourself and you need to do CPR, just do hands-only CPR. Don't do any CPR with breaths unless you have one of those filters. And if you're going to suction and they're wearing a mask, take off that mask first before you try to suction. Okay, so after we respond to an incident, you're going to want to remove and properly dispose of all of your PPE in a biohazard bag. So we have those biohazard bags in our office. So come to one of us if you need one for whatever reason. And after you come into close contact with anybody, you should wash your hands with soap and water or use hand sanitizer. The other points here are about the BVM, the VVAC, that sort of thing. We will take care of all of that, disinfecting, that kind of thing. We'll use a bleach solution to clean everything off, and we'll take care of that kind of thing. Okay, so talking about guest compliance. So when you're on stand, your only responsibility is to watch the water, maintain your 1020, and make sure that the people swimming are safe, okay? So if you're on stand and you see people are not social distancing on the deck, don't worry about it. You can tell one of us, you can triple whistle and tell one of us, but it's not your responsibility to get down from your stand and go talk to them. You want to focus on the water and maintain your 1020. If you're off stand, maybe you're walking to go get food from the grill or something, please do address issues with social distancing and mask wearing if you see them. I'm not really sure what things are going to be like yet. I'm not sure if people will want to be close to each other and not wearing their masks, that kind of thing. I'm hoping that everybody will do what they're supposed to and keep their distance. But always, if you need a manager to come talk to somebody, just triple whistle or come get one of us, and we're more than happy to talk to them and tell them what they need to be doing. Okay, so new this year, before you come into your shift is something that you will have to do. Every single time you work a shift, you will need to fill out our employee health survey. So you can do it from your phone, you can do it in the parking lot if you have to, if you don't remember. I would wake up in the morning and do it just then so that you can do it for the day. But you're going to go to our website, ChesapeakeBeachWaterPark.com. You're going to click the Employment tab, and you'll scroll all the way to the bottom of that page and look for the Employee Portal. So it's this big red button right here. When you click the Employee Portal link, it will take you to a password screen. The password for the Employee Portal is the word employee. So that's pretty easy to remember. Just type in employee, and it will take you to this Employee Access screen. On the Employee Access screen, you will want to click the Employee Health Screening. It's, I think it's a Google form. You just fill it out for the day, hit Submit, and then when you come to work, one of your supervisors will be checking to make sure that you have submitted it before you can work. So make sure that you're doing that every day. Okay, and lastly, if you feel sick, please do not come into work. Just let a supervisor, a head guard know as soon as possible so that we can find somebody to replace you. But if you are sick, we really do not want you there. If somebody in your family is sick, go ahead and text one of us, let us know, ask what you can do about it. In most cases, we'll ask you to not come into work. We're going to be very lenient with the sick policy this year because we really want to keep everybody safe. So that has been our changes to our operations this year for the 2020 season. Hopefully things will not stay like this for long. Hopefully next year we'll return to normal. On the next screen, there is a quiz for you to take. So if you need to review this video pretty quickly, you can go ahead and do that and then take your quiz. And as always, go ahead and let me know if you have any questions. We'll be going through this stuff over and over throughout the season, reminding you of what you have to do. But always let us know if you have any questions. And good luck on the quiz!